Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making pork and cabbage mille feuille, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. To start this dish, I have a little bundle of shiso leaves. This is optional, but I had them in my fridge and I wanted to use them up. I'm just cutting off the stems, cutting this into strips, and then we're just going to give this nice little choppity chop. We also need one whole head of napa cabbage, pulling off any of the outer leaves, but reserving those for later. We're going to leave the stem side on. We're going to split this in half and give this a really good rinse to get out any dirt or grit that might be caught in between the leaves. We also need about 2 pounds of pork belly. I got some sliced thin at the Asian market. And for seasoning, we need 2 tablespoons of salt, a tablespoon of gochugaru, and a half teaspoon of white pepper. Now we're going to separate the leaves and season with each of these ingredients inside each leaf. And we're going to sprinkle in some shiso leaf and then add in 2 strips of our pork belly. And we want to do this for each layer. So just going in, seasoning with our salt, our gochugaru, our white pepper, shiso leaf, and adding in our pork belly. And if you have a couple weird layers, you can skip and layer them together. It's up to you. Once both sides are filled, we're going to take a sharp knife and just cut these into 3 little sections. I'm still leaving that root stem side on for now. Then into a nice large saute pan, we're going to take those reserved leaves, break them up, and put them in the bottom of the pan, just for a little protection layer. And then we're going to start placing our little sections cut side up. And we want to pack this in as tightly as possible. First, it's going to look beautiful, but it's also going to hold each of these sections up and upright and together. So just going in, packing this in as tightly as possible. And before I put in that root end, I'm going to take that thick root off. It just held it together as we were layering everything in. It's done its job. And now this is the last piece going in, just taking off that other root end, placing this in the middle, and then using any additional cabbage leaves to just fill in any gaps or spaces. Now this is ready to go. So over low heat on the stove, we are going to place our beautifully arranged saute pan. We're going to add 4 tablespoons of cooking sake in here. We're going to cover this up and let this braise and cook for about an hour. In the meantime, we can make a dipping sauce. So to another saucepan, I'm adding 1/3 cup of sake, 1/3 cup of mirin. We're going to bring this over to the stove and bring it to a boil just to cook off any of that alcohol, just for about 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, we can take that off the stove and add in a 1/2 tablespoon of gochugaru, Korean chili paste, I can't speak today, 3/4 cup of soy sauce, the juice from 1 whole lemon, just using a reamer and a strainer to catch any errant seeds, and last but not least, about a teaspoon of just regular caster sugar. We're going to give that a little mix. And that is pretty much our sauce done. You do want to mix this until the sugar dissolves. Now it's been about an hour. We can take this off the stove and look how steamy and beautiful this looks. We're just going to garnish with a little chopped scallion. And now we're ready to taste. This dish is really just about cabbage and pork. There's not a ton of seasoning in here. It's just that clean flavor of napa cabbage and pork belly. This is steamed to perfection. The cabbage is wilted down beautifully. You get a little hit of that gochugaru in there. You taste the seasoning of the white pepper. You get a tiny little sesame hint from the shiso leaf. The dipping sauce is salty and a little spicy, but the perfect condiment for this very simple and delicious dish. But there it is, pork and cabbage mille feuille. I really do hope you all try to make this in your home. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you loved it, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because I put out new videos every Thursday. Thank you again, and until next time, happy cooking.